if I can share this seminar with them. Please let me know if you have any questions, put on the chat. I will have a question time at the end. And also, we're going to cover a lot of things tonight, but if you have any questions afterward, I believe all of you have my email address. Please feel free to send me an email and I can coach you through this process until you feel confident enough to do it yourself. So it doesn't stop here, okay? So if you still need any help, please let me know. I'm more than happy to work with you even after we finish the course tonight. You have my email, that is my phone, my office number on my email. Please feel free to give me a call or send me an email after we finish the course tonight, if you need any help or support. The first thing I want to share with you is a disclosure. All the information in this course was correct at the time of production in July 2020. This course is intended as a guide only and produced for general education purpose. It is not intended to be read as legal or financial advice, or as a substitution for legal and for financial advice. If you require legal advice, you should consult a solicitor of your choice. Similarly, if you herein are those of the author only, and in the broadest and general terms, individual circumstances require different methods and strategies. Many issues have been simplified to achieve ease of understanding. The management of debt is a complicated and complex arrangement, and no responsibility at law or in equity can be inferred or accepted for the opinions expressed herein, or the actions the participant may or may not take based on the contents of this course. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm here to give you general information to help organize your finances and put together a budget. So it can help you to get back on your feet or start saving for that dream that you have, buying a house, a car, a trip. I'm not sure what it is, but that's what this course is here for, to help you to find ways where you can achieve your dreams and also organize your finances so you won't be struggling financially. All right, my first question that I have, I'm going to start the poll, and I want to ask you, what do you think you are? Are you a saver or a spender? That is on your booklet that I have sent you. You can start voting now. It is anonymous, so I'm not sure. I'm not going to be able to see who is voting what, okay? So just start voting. On your booklet that you have received online, there is a little questionnaire that you can answer, and the questionnaire is going to give you the true answer if you are a saver or a spender. So I want you to vote. Keep that in mind, and when you go through that questionnaire, you have the final answer if you were right or if you were wrong, if you were a saver or if you are a spender. All right, so we have here 63% as a spender and 38% as a saver. So it gives you a little bit of an understanding how you are financially, but please don't forget at the beginning of your booklet, there is a little questionnaire that you can answer, and you can have the right answer to this question based on that questionnaire. So when you have a time, just have a look at that. So thank you for participating. Now I want to share with you another question. My question to you is, are you in control of your finances? Let me just share with you another poll, and I want you to answer. Are you in control of your finances? Yes or no? I just want to ask that question and hear a little bit where everyone is at the moment. That's awesome. When I did the questionnaire, someone just put it on the chat that the person is a saver, but also a spender, but they can really save as well. So that's awesome, because I am kind of in the middle as well. When I can, I tend to spend a little bit more, but I'm always on the saving side to make sure that I am careful for rainy days. So 77% says that yes, they are in control of their finances right now, but 23% said no. Well, it's okay. Maybe today is going to be your day for you to reorganize your finances, okay? And as I said, at the end of the course, make sure if you still have any questions to contact me. Okay, my next question is, what are the goals that you are willing to achieve with this course? I'm going to just share with you only 4 answers. choose which one is closer to the answer that you think is going to suit you. So what is the goal that you have from this course? What are you expecting from this course? Is to start saving? Is to pay your debts? Is to organize your finances? Or is to create a budget only? So just let me know by answering those questions, so it can help me as well while we go through the training tonight, and I can emphasize certain areas depending on the responses that we get. So it says the majority to pay the debts, especially I think with COVID, made all of us just be completely financially disorganized, because a lot of us are not working, but we still have to pay mortgage and rent and all these things. So sometimes it makes a little bit hard. A lot of the second option was organize the finances, and the two coming with 15% is start saving and create a budget. So thank you so much for participating on this poll. Why build a budget? We are here tonight to build a budget, to organize our finances. But why should we do that? First, to see a clear picture of what is going on with your finances, so you can stay in control and you can have a balanced balanced budget. Also, to build a budget makes you feel free, that because you're not going to have debts that is going to make you awake during the night or stressed out because you can't meet your financial needs. It also allows you to stop wasting money where you shouldn't, because when you put this budgeting together, it gives you an open eye. I'm going to share with you just I had to cancel my credit card because I just bought a house, and to get a loan, I had to cancel all my credit cards. And I remember when I canceled my credit card, I felt naked. I felt like, man, now I am in trouble. If I need anything, how am I going to pay all my bills? Because sometimes when it comes close to my to get paid, I don't have any more money. So I kind of put on my credit card, and I was a little bit stressed about that. So I was saving to make sure when that time came that I had to cancel my credit cards, I had enough money saved for me to pay for my bills. And I'll be honest with you, I'm relieved, because now when I get paid and I look at my salary, I don't have that big credit card bill to pay anymore. I only have the basic bills that I was already paying for it. And it has made me feel free. I guarantee you, at the beginning it was a little bit scary, not to having that backup credit card that if I don't have money, I can just put on that. But now I'm free. I can see that my salary, it's a lot easier for me to manage because I don't have big debts anymore. I have just the simple things that I need to pay for. It was hard to get to that point, but I want to give you my testimony because it made me feel more in control and gave me peace and freedom as well with my finances. Prioritize what you want to spend your money on, and also helps you to build a good financial habit, okay? Because the more you start looking into that budget and that finances, organize your finances, it's going to give you a better habit where and how you should spend your money. All right, the first step to put a budget, okay? On your booklet that you have received, there is a page there that you can put all the information there, so it can help to balance it out. But I believe all of you have received the link from CAP, C-A-P, Christian Against Poverty link. This is not a junk mail. You can click on it. If you haven't received it, probably have a look on your junk and create an account with them, because then you can do everything online and the system calculates itself. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about how that system works based on the information that I'm going to provide you. But as I said, if you have any questions on how you can set up your own account, please contact me here to help and support anything you need. But the first thing we need to do for us to get to the point of finding out and balance our budget is, what is my income? How much do I get paid? Okay. So how much is coming in? Some of us have investment property. So we have your salary, you have the investment property that also probably be giving you money. You have shares that can probably also provide you with some of the income. Probably you are entitled to some government allowances that you also can help your income. So you need to list all the incomes that you have. I only have my salary, so that's the only thing I have. So it's easier for me. That's the amount that I receive fortnightly. So that's what I have to spend because that's my own income. So you write down what is your income, okay? On a second column, you list all the expenditure that you have, everything that you spend your money in. It's interesting saying that when I cancel my credit card, I start receiving emails. We tried to debit your insurance and was declined. And I'm like, oh, yes, that's true. I forgot that I had to pay that because it was automatically coming out of my credit card. Now I don't have credit card anymore. Or your internet was tried to debit the amount and now it was declined. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And I start really getting in control what I am spending my money with because everything was debited from my account, my credit card, and now I don't have credit card. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that I have to pay that. I forgot this as well. So was little things that I was forgetting that I was paying for, Netflix or iCloud or Amazon, some little things like that. And I'm like, why am I paying for this? I don't even use this anymore. But it was debited from my credit card, so I completely forgot about. But now that I canceled like my credit card, sometimes I receive, it's like some stuff only gets debited once a year. And then I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that I was paying for that subscription. So it made me more in control of my finances. So you need to start listing everything. So there are a couple of ways that you can do that. From the top of your head, you can start really write down your expenses. But I'll be honest with you, for sure, you will forget little things like Amazon or things that you buy online and you forget that you have bought that online, or subscriptions that you have subscribed that only charges once a year, but you don't really use much and you completely forget about. So go on your bank statement and your credit card statement and start looking and highlighting everything that you're spending your money in. That is, you have to spend. It's a weekly or fortnightly or a monthly or yearly basis that you spend that money with. Your insurance, your rent or mortgage, your internet, your mobile, electricity, gas, water, your car registration, car insurance, content insurance, home insurance, subscriptions, Netflix, Amazon, and then you go and credit card that you have or whatever else, like if you do donations, everything should be listed, every single little thing. Okay, I spend around $100 in groceries weekly, or 200 fortnightly, or whatever, how you spend. Some people, they do weekly, some people, they do fortnightly, some people, they do monthly. So put it there. And separate it. Whatever is weekly, put it on one column. Whatever it's fortnightly, put in another column. Whatever is monthly, put in another column. And whatever is yearly, put in another column. So separate what are the things that you are spending according to the period that you're paying for that, okay? Remember to put petrol, how much you spend for petrol. So put every single little detail in there. The good thing about the system from Cap Money is that it gives you a lot of ideas of things that you spend your money with. Sometimes present. Oh, I need to buy a present for my daughter. She gets birthday once a year, but also has Christmas present. Has also whatever that I give present to her, like Easter, I give her chocolates. So these little things, you should have a budget for that too. So trying to get from your mind everything, hair products, or I cut my hair once every 6 months. So I spend usually $50 to cut my hair. So start listing all the little things that you spend your money with. And then you plus everything, you equal everything. And then if you get paid fortnightly, you get the yearly one calculated and divided by how many payments you get per year. That will probably be 26 cycle of payments. So you divide by 26. If it is weekly, you divide by 52, whatever it's weekly that the yearly account. And then if it's monthly, then you divide it, blah, 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 and you divide and you have the calculation, and then you plus everything. And then you're going to have, okay, if I get paid $1,000 a month, and then at the end, I'm spending 1,200, you know that you are 200 over your budget. As I said, it seems a little bit complicated when I'm talking to you, but as I said, I can help you. You don't need to tell me what are your expenses, but I can help you to use the spreadsheet on your booklet that I have sent to you, or we can do that online. It's completely secure. No one has access to your list online. It's completely anonymous, like it's completely secure. Only you have access to it. No one has access to that information. So feel free to use the online system because it calculates for you. You can pay yearly, but at the end, when you put it like your income period that you're receiving, it calculates automatically for you how much you should be like getting paid by the periodic payment income that you're getting. So everything calculates automatically online. If you do it on a spreadsheet, you need to do like on your booklet, you need to calculate it yourself. I can help you with that if you need help. So first, income, everything that you spend your money with, and then we compare. Are we spending more or less than what we're getting paid? That's the first thing we need to understand. Where are we spending our money, and are we spending more or less? Because if we're spending less, so we should be saving. If we spend more, how can we cut, or how can we find different ways of getting more income to help us with the things that is a must in our budget, okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to put on the chat. I'm here to help. All right. As I said to you, how to balance your budget. If you get to a point that, Patricia, did my balance, and I'm spending $300 more than I should. Like, I don't know what can I cut to make sure I meet my needs. The first thing you need to go through when you need to cut, because you're spending more than you need to calculate what is luxury and what is a necessity. I'll be honest with you, if I had to cut, I was paying Dropbox account because of my previous job. The company didn't provide me for iCloud file base, so I paid my own Dropbox. I completely forgot about that. I was paying for that until I canceled my credit card, and I found out that I had that annual bill that I was paying. So this is a luxury, so I don't have to pay for that. I can cancel that. Netflix, can cancel that. Like restaurants, clothes, there are so many things that I can start cutting out of my budget, so I can only keep what is necessary until I meet my budget, or until I find a way to get more income. And we're going to talk about that as well. So when you go through your budget, that you have a clear understanding how you're spending your money, and if you're spending more or less than what you should, then you need to start like crossing or circulating what is luxury that you really, truly don't need. Some of us, it is important to buy clothes. I am a woman, and I understand. That's why when you go to a shopping center, the majority of the shops are women's clothes or anything related to women, because we love clothes. So if it is something extremely important to you, it's not going to be me that is telling you, you can't buy any clothes. No, we can find for other alternatives. I was giving this course to one lady, and she was spending $300 more weekly than she could afford. But buying clothes for her was extremely important. So we found a way of shopping at St. Vincent de Paul's. Because if you go to Waverly, Bondi, or some of the northern beaches, St. Vincent de Paul, Venice, you can find new clothes with tags, because I worked there as a manager in the past. New clothes with tags are like brand new for like 20% of the price of the real one. So she said, Patricia, I am willing to, instead of buying everything new and good, like the most expensive brands, to come down a little bit and go to St. Vincent de Paul's and Salvos and places like that, and trying to find clothes that's going to meet my needs and my necessity of buying clothes that will make me spend a lot less. Instead of spending $100 a month with clothes, I can spend at least $20, $30, and it's still going to cover up my necessity of buying clothes. So there is always a way that we can find to minimize our costs, okay? So but you need to understand what is luxury and what is necessity in your budget. All right, and that's the problem solving. First, you need to identify the problem. Am I wasting more money than I get? Or am I like spending less than I get, but I'm not saving as well? So somehow the money is disappearing in my account. I met someone once that got paid like a good amount of money, but was owing the entire credit card. And when I did the calculation, the person had enough money to pay for all the bills and save at least $100 per week. But the person didn't know how to manage the finances, to the point that was like buying drinks and food every day, to the point some days they were buying, like when the person showed, because it was a family member, he showed me his statement. He spent in some of the days $60 a day in drinks and food. $60 in drinks and food. That's why he was unable to save. He was getting paid like 120 or $100 a day, but he was spending $60 only food and drink, and plus transportation and other bills that he had. So of course he was not able to save. So we were able to identify by his credit card and bank statement what was the issue. So first, find what is the problem. Are you spending more, or are you still like not like when you do the calculations? Say here that I'm supposed to be saving like I still can save $100, but somehow that $100 is not. I can't find that in my bank account every time, like at the end of my payment cycle. I don't know why. So it is a problem. You're supposed to be saving that $100, but somehow that $100 is not being in your account because you have spent somewhere else that you have even noticed that you have spent, or you have committed yourself with so many bills that's why you're going over budget. So first, identify what is the problem and how can we solve it. Identify what is luxury and what is necessity, and is there any other way that we can get income into that can help us to balance that. And the next step is put in practice. Okay, I have noticed that the issue is here. I have these options on how I can solve this problem. So now let's put in practice. Now I'm only working 20 hours a week. Maybe if I work 10 hours more a week, I can cover up that. Oh, but I can't because I look after my children. I really need to be at home, but I live in the city and I'm not using the garage. So maybe I can rent the garage. So there is so many ways that we're going to talk about on the next. And then put a deadline. When do I need to get this done by? Because when we don't put a deadline, it doesn't become a priority, because now you don't have that commitment that I have to solve that issue. Okay, so it is important for you to find those steps and make sure that you have a deadline to get it sorted. And as I said, so if you see that you are spending more than you're getting paid, how can you increase your income? Working extra hours. Like I remember a friend of mine when she got married and she found out that she was pregnant and she just bought a new house. She couldn't afford. So her husband started doing some overtime because his company allowed to. So every day he did 2 hours of overtime so she could meet her budget. But also she noticed that it wasn't enough. So she started like making, baking, doing stuff to sell. And after she noticed that she was getting really tired with that, so she started doing nails. She always came up with other ideas that she could get extra money. So working extra hours or getting extra work or making something at home that you can sell. Or if you are an accountant and you feel that you can do tax returns for your friends and charge like $50 instead of 140, 150 that people are charging out there, you can help them or teach them how to do their own tax return, because I am an accountant, so I am allowed to do that. So I can help somebody and they can pay me $50 so I can get the extra money. Or I am a project manager. So maybe I can help someone to put a project together and I can get extra money. I'm a graphic designer. So maybe I can do some graphic designing for people that starting the business online so they can start. So there is so many different ways maybe you can do. Not sure it's going to be your case, because when you have children or you work long hours, it can become difficult. So if you have a grown-up children at home, ask them to start contributing. We live in the 21st century. Unfortunately, no one lives for free anymore. So if they are working and they are at home, why not ask them to help you with some of the bills, or pay or ask for $100, or maybe see what is the best option for all of you. But why are you gonna be struggling when you know they are saving like $1,000 a week just because they're living for free at the parents' home? So negotiate with them and ask them for some contribution. If you have an extra room that you can rent, why not? Just to get the extra income until you go back on your feet. Or if you have like a driveway or a garage or a storage place that you can rent for someone, depending on the area that you live, like Parramatta, people are dying to find a parking spot that can pay for it. So there are different ways. I have a friend that he lives in Walla Creek. He doesn't have a car and his rent is pretty high. And because the country is closed and we're not receiving students anymore, so he hasn't been able to rent an extra room that he had in his house. So what he's doing to get extra money, he's renting his garage. He said it's not much, it's like $100 a week, but it's $100 a week that I'm getting from that parking spot that I'm not even using. And at least I'm making extra $100. So he found a way to meet his needs with what he had. Or sell things. Nowadays we have that Facebook market. Man, people are selling so many things. I don't know if you saw, but there is a girl now selling like a Doritos chip online for like $1,000 or whatever it is. It's ridiculous amount because she found that something in the Doritos is different and it was worth of it. So I have a friend that he bought a kayak that was completely rubbish online because he saw the photos and he thought it was cool. He bought it and he paid $10 to throw it in the rubbish. I said to him, you paid $10 for something that you can't even use it. And you just help the guy to put it in the rubbish. So he paid $10, he had to dispose it. So there are so many things that we probably can sell that we're not using at our home. We have extra furniture that is just on the corner there, and probably I can get $20 from it. Friend of mine just sold his investment apartment. He had a lot of furniture that was in that in his apartment, and he said, Patricia, I made $1,200 out of all the furniture that I had and was here in my garage. Couldn't even park my car in the garage because I had so many stuff. And I got he has like a son that is turning 2 this year. So I had so many kids stuff as well that I only used once or twice. I got it in the mix as well and sold everything, and I made extra money. So is there anything that you can sell to help pay for some extra debts? Okay, so here are some ideas of things that how you can increase your income. All right, now reduce expenditure. First, cut costs. Do it cheaper. Supermarkets. You can buy the most expensive brand, or you can buy the cheaper ones. If you have money to buy for the most expensive, awesome. But if you're struggling with that, why not cut off and choose cheaper products? Or if you're buying clothes, like if you are struggling financially right now, instead of paying for $200 like jacket, let's try to find a cheaper jacket online, or maybe go to St. Vincent de Paul, Salvas, these places. They still have brand new clothes and you can buy for half of the price. So there are so many ways in the society we live today, especially with access to internet and being able to buy things online. It has reduced a lot of the costs, and a lot of the places you can also save in postage. You can click and collect, so you don't need to pay the $10 for delivery. So there are so many different ways that we can do that. So try to look for cheaper things if you really need to meet your finances until you get back on your feet and you can start spoiling yourself a little bit more if that's what you really, really want. Or cut back, do it less. Like I love going to restaurants. So instead of going 3 times a week to restaurants, I can go once a week. Instead of like buying Uber Eats menu log every night, why not cut off and just try to cook at home? And look, like Coles has like cheap recipes that they have put it together. They're under $10. You can cook something. So have a look at these places that you can cut off and cook for less. Go out a little bit less for a while, or look for things like, I know we can't go out anyway, but if we could go out, instead of going to the cinemas, okay, let's go to someone's house and watch a movie, be cheaper. Or if you want to go to a restaurant like for lunch, why not do a picnic? Like, let's try to find something different in nature, or instead of going to the city and waste $100 doing whatever, why not going to the beach? Why not going to the mountains? Why not go to a park or visit a friend, or doing a picnic, or coming up with new ideas? Oh, but it's like I really want to surprise my girlfriend or my wife because it's a wedding anniversary. I need to take her to a restaurant. Why not organize a picnic and you just get some like cheese plate or something like that you can do yourself? It's simple with fruits and stuff. Get some candles from Kmart and go to a secluded beach and put that picnic mat on the floor and have a beautiful picnic with your wife overlooking the sunset. I guarantee you she'll fall in love with you again with things like that. And you saved a lot of money. Instead of spending $120 on a restaurant, you can just have that for like $30 and you're going to have an amazing time with that person. So you're cutting less and doing it for less until you are able to take her on a restaurant for like $200. It's not a problem. But if you are struggling financially, trying to save money for something specific, why not coming up with so many ideas? My wife loves to go to expensive hotels and things like that. I really want to do a trip. Why not? Now we're trying to save money for something or need to pay our debts. Why not going to a caravan park or do a camping, and where you can sleep close to the beach, listen to the waves, or go to Blue Mountains when it's like a good time of the year and you can hear the waterfalls and be exposed to nature. Look for different things that it can help you save a little bit, but you're still enjoying life and doing the things that you love. Or you need to cut out, depending what it is. Like, I'm really struggling. I have a lot of debts. They have creditors looking for me because I have too much debts. And unfortunately, this time I have to cut. I have to cut the restaurants. I have to cut like eating out. I have to cut expensive like food products that I was paying for. I love buying Omo to wash my clothes, but it's too expensive. It's like 3 times more the price than something simple from Aldi or from the reject shop. For this period of time, I'm going to cut and really leave it as it is, or take out of my bills. I'm not going to pay Netflix. I'm not going to pay this because I need to save that money. I have a friend, she just got married, and her husband opened up after she got married that he had a big debt. And he has hidden from her because he was scared that she didn't want to get married to him. And now she's in a different country living with this person, and she can't spend 1 cent. So she said, Patricia, what we had to do, we're starting to do Uber to get extra money. So every night he goes out to do Uber. I am doing Uber Eats because I can do on a bike. And she said, we had to cut a lot of things. We can't eat out. We just got married, don't even have furniture. I'm not even buying furniture. We are just with what people has given us. Like, I put it on Facebook, and I look on Facebook for free things, like free bed, free lounge. And she just got everything for free as much as she could. And they're trying to make extra money to start paying that debt that he had and he didn't share with her before they got married. So unfortunately, they are struggling right now at the beginning of the marriage, but at least she found ways of getting extra income, but also she cut enough to be paying for all those debts. And she just told us that she's getting back on her feet. They're getting paid enough now to meet the finances, to organize the finances. And she was looking to buy new furniture for her place instead of having all the broken things that she has. But can you see, when we truly want to do something, somehow we'll get there. And there is so many ways that we can do that. All right. And if you still, it doesn't balance after all this, okay, you go back through the steps again and see if you have missed something, or you look for professional help. At the end of this course, I have a list of places that you can call to. They can help and support you to go through these, to look for help. The government has a lot of free things and free institutions that you can look for. They can help you to organize your finances and to deal with your credit and with your debts as well. Okay, but we'll talk about that right at the end of the course. But this is some of these steps if you can't balance your budget. And just remind you to be content with what we have. I know we live in a society that Instagram and Facebook makes us feel that we want more and more and more, that we are never happy with what we have because we always see people having more than us. But I want to just encourage with Philippians 4:11 that says, I know how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things, I have learned both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. God is here to help you, and he wants you to be content with what you have. And praise God, we are in Australia, in a country that we are able to get things. I am originally from Brazil. I have been here for 14 years. And I look back in my country, things are a lot harder there. And I have families, they live in the slums and everything. And it's so sad to see how they live. But interesting that I noticed people in Brazil, because they suffer financially a lot and the things are a lot harder, Every place you go, you face queues. It's ridiculous. If I go to the RTA, the Service New South Wales, that is called now, like in half an hour maximum, I'm out of that place and I can solve my problem. In Brazil, you have to go to a queue that you wait for at least 3 hours, and you can still get, the guy can come to us and say, sorry, we don't have any more vacancies for today. You have to come back another day. And you're like, I got a day off today. I spent 3 hours on this queue and now you tell me to go back home because I can't be served today. Yes, it happens in Brazil. And people suffer a lot in my country. But interesting, everything they celebrate. If they buy a new bed, for us here, buy a new bed is nothing special. In Brazil, you buy a new bed, you throw a party, you call all your friends and say, man, I bought a new bed. And we celebrate because things are so difficult for you to have and get that every little single thing that you buy is a reason to celebrate. So be more grateful, be more content, celebrate the little wins, because this is going to give you more peace of mind. It's going to make you more happy. It's going to make you happier, because you are appreciating the little things that you have. There are a lot of people would love to, and they don't have the capacity of enjoying that. So this is a little bit of the budgeting side that we spoke about, that we talked about. That is our incomes, our expenses, how we meet this, how we budget up based on our expenses, and different ways that we can increase our income or we can reduce our expenses. So that was the first part of the course. Do you have any questions before I go through the second part that is called organizing your finances? You can type or you can unmute yourself. Feel free to ask any questions. And if you want any additional material, please let me know. I'm more than happy to provide you with as well. So no one is asking any question. It's okay. Let's go to the second part. Yes, anyone?
So I just have a quick question.
Yes.
Patricia, in regards to the budget, the one on the cap money, with the income, it's only one there. So do I put both incomes, myself and my partner or my wife? Okay.
If you have a shared wallet, if you both share the same wallet, everything is combined, yes. But if you two have independently, so you do separately. It depends how you manage your finances at home. Okay, but if if it's one wallet, you do it all together. If it's separate wallets, you do separately.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No worries. Any other question? All right.
Can I put it
yes.
If you come from a larger family, if you've got more than 7 and you're the primary earner or the sole, do you still apply the same method that you've laid out there? Because when you made suggestions on budget-free or going out, finding activities that doesn't cost, it costs anyway once we step out the door. Even if it's a trip to the park, we will still have to put petrol, we have to put damages. So in saying that, I can see that we can organize the finances, but in saving, how much would we would have to put away to make an effective, savings? Because I know when I try to save, something comes along, like you have to buy a washing machine, and then boom, that goes and then starts again. So it becomes a tedious process where you see this lump sum of money, but once you hit a high, only for the kids need school shoes or new uniforms. So you know what I mean? So I want money to stay in the bank and stay there without having to use that savings and then it disappears. So
yes,
that's my question.
All right. The second part that I'm going to talk now, Fahina, is going to talk about that, how you organize your finances, and the point that you always have some extra money for that. But for that, you first need to do your budget to know if you'll be able to be saving, how much you'll be able to save in, how you're going to be saving that money. And I will explain on the second part. But also, because probably you have a large family, I'm more than happy to work with you aside out of this meeting, so I can give you more tips and ideas on how you can work on that. That is going to be specific for your finances and your life. Okay, so if you don't mind, I'm happy to work with you outside of this Zoom meeting, so we can work together and we can find the best way how you can organize this. And now I can answer your question as well. And it's interesting that you brought that to our attention. Yeah, sometimes I'm trying to save, but then the washing machine breaks, so this happens. And it is true. Like, I can say that to me, I was trying to save money and then I got sick, ended up in hospital, and I had to pay a couple of things. Then when I thought that I was getting out of and back on my feet, I just found out that I need to do a surgery, and I can't do it through the government because I'll have to wait 2 years and I need to do it quicker. So I'll have to spend money to do privately. So it's annoying. It feels like, man, when I was thinking that I'm going to save money, I have to waste everything because I have to pay for something extra. So I understand your pain because I'm going through that right now. And when I think I'm saving, I'm not saving. I'm just, looks like I'm going backwards. But that is a way that we can work together and you can feel more on your feet in regards to that. Are you happy with that? All right, so let's continue. Organize your finances. So here we have on the screen, that is your income. Can be one income or can be more incomes depending how you work. So if I have a friend that in her house, she has a couple of siblings, and her mom and dad gets paid. It's one wallet, so it's counted as one. But also the children are all grown up and they're all living at home and they all work. And she said that she contributes to pay for the mortgage of the house and also some of the expenses. So it is counted as an income. So you need to put that money together. Also, if you work in shifts, some weeks you get more, some weeks you get less. We do a calculation based on that and see roughly you get paid usually. So it becomes easier for us to do your income based on your average salary, based on your shifts that you get, okay? So what happens is when you get paid, all the money goes into one account or you get it in cash, depending where you work, okay? So if all the money goes into your account, we need to administer that. When we have the money all in one account, it makes it hard for us and it's easier for us to spend more money. I'm not sure if you have money in your wallet, because if you do, you're going to notice that if you had $1,000 in your wallet, it's going to be easier for you to spend that a lot quicker than if you had it on your bank account. Some people are different. If they have money in their wallet, they feel they don't want to waste that money because like, oh, my money is going down quickly because it's cash. But I'm going to put it on my savings because I can't see the money. So it just start wasting. So I'm not sure which case you are, but independently, when all the money stays in one place, it's harder for you to manage your account. The good thing about the society we live today, you can have 5-6 different savings accounts and you don't pay for it in some of them. So look for a bank that they don't charge for bank fees, and that you are able to open like secondary accounts where you can divide your money and you can start saving for different things, okay? Or organizing your payments for different things. So here we have Cap Money has suggested, but as I said, this is a general information, but each one of you probably will have a different way of dealing with this. So you get paid all in one account and that money goes to that account. Then you transfer that money like to one account. You can leave the money that you're going to spend with petrol and food and rent or mortgage in the main account, because that is going to be get debited, or you're going to pay for things straight away. So it needs to stay in the main account. But usually like electricity, gas, water, insurance, and things like that, internet, mobile phone, monthly bills. So what do we do? If I get paid for weekly, okay, and my internet bill is $40, so it means every week I need to save $10 to be able to pay for the $40 monthly. If my insurance is $80, I need to save $20 weekly to be able to pay the $80 for my insurance. My water is like 160. So I need to save a certain amount of money weekly, so I can pay for the 160 monthly, okay? So that is an account that is a monthly savings that you are going to pay for the monthly bills that you get from each week's salary, okay? At the beginning, it's gonna be hard for you to start organizing that, especially if you are in too much debt. But slowly, when you start getting out of your feet, or if your finances are okay, but you're not able to save, you're gonna notice that this way is gonna make you, it's gonna make things easier for you. In another account, you have the yearly payments. That is some people, they pay the car insurance yearly, all in one, so they don't have to pay extra. So you have a couple things that you can pay yearly. So those things you also calculated on. In a year, I need to pay $1,200. So I need to save, say, $100 per month or $25 a week to be able to have that $1,200 when the time of the bill comes. So you put that money in that yearly account, okay? And then also you have, depending on how organized are you and how easy it is for you to organize your finances. For some of my friends that I have been helping them with the finances, I have told them to create different accounts. So here you're going to see, for them, it's easier if they have one account for rent, one account, no, regular payments, sorry, it is the rent, electricity, if you pay weekly or monthly, whatever it is. So that's regular payments that we are called. But as I said, we can work according to your necessities. But also we have the cash account, that is the money that you leave there and things that you separate. But what I want to say to you is, okay, so I left the money for the regular bills, that is rent, petrol, food, things that I'm using all the time. So I leave in that main account where everything gets debited when I use my savings card. And then I put the monthly bills in the monthly account, the yearly bills in the yearly account. And then depending on how organized, as I said to you, you can have an account, okay, for birthday presents or for gifts and presents, like Christmas presents, birthday presents, whatever presents that you are usual to give, you create that. So you say, okay, I usually at Christmas, I give presents to 10 people and I tend to spend around $30. And then you calculate it, divide by how many weeks that you get paid. And then you say, okay, I have to save every payment $25 to be able to have that money for my Christmas shopping. So you create an account for Christmas shopping, birthday gifts. So usually I have my husband, my 2 children. So I usually give presents to them around $50, $80. So it is 4 people. That is this amount of money divided by how many times I get paid per year. I need to save $10 every time I get paid to make sure I'll have enough money to buy for that present when the time comes. I love going to restaurants and going out with friends. So create an account for that. Every time I get paid, I want to put $10 there because once a month I like to go out and I tend to spend $40. So $10 every salary, I'll put it there because when I go out, I have that money there and I can transfer that to my regular account. And I can use that money that I have been saving specifically for that. I love buying clothes. So what I'm going to do, clothes account, and I'm going to put all the money there. I have noticed that I'm spending around $100, $150 in clothing monthly. So $120, $20 a week, or whatever, like $25, $30, put it on that saving for clothing. When I go to the shop to buy clothes, how much do I have in my account? I have been able to save $80. That's what I have to buy clothes. So I'll pay for that cash. Then I love going on holidays. So I have a holiday account. So I'll put on my savings account. Okay, every time I travel, I have noticed, like I'm planning, usually we plan a little bit what type of travels we want to do. So next travel, I noticed that's going to cost me $2,000. Okay, how much do I need to start saving and putting in that account? So when the time comes, I have the money for that specific things. And if you still have leftover, you have a savings account. You can save for different things, as I have been mentioned, like things that breaks or things that for maintenance, but also you can save like, oh, I have $100 left, but I know my washing machine I'll have to change soon, or the ceiling, it's like I have a leak in there, soon I'll have to fix that. So I'm gonna put $50 on the maintenance account, and I'm going to put $50 for savings for a raining day. If I lose my job or anything happens and I need some extra money, that money is going to be there. So it will only be possible for us to get that final number when we put that budget together that we spoke on the first part of this conversation. And now we have identified what are our priorities and necessities and how we are using our money, spending our money, so we can create the different accounts so we can put the correct money in each account. And when the time comes to pay for it, the money is there, okay? So savings account, it means truly saving. You can save for the holidays, to buy a house, Christmas presents, rainy day, a car, or whatever. So why are you doing all this and going through all these budgeting things and organizing your finances? What is your purpose? Is it to pay your bills? Also, you want to start saving for something else. So we need to identify as well, because when we have a goal, it makes things easier for us to save and identify ourselves, and also to keep us motivated to continue that project that we have started. Okay, here are some helpful tips. Living on cash. When we talk about cash, we say savings account, that the money it is in your account and that cash that you have. When you live in your cash, it's a lot easier because at least you don't have credit cards and interest to pay. When I had my credit card, I had to pay $200 yearly for the fees for my credit card, and I had to pay interest every time I used the credit card. In some months, I was paying 100 something. So when you add up all that, like per year, I was spending like $400, $500. That $500 I could be using for a trip because I love traveling. So I noticed that not having a credit card makes things a lot easier. Yes, it was hard at the beginning to learn how to deal with that, but I start following all these steps that I'm sharing with you, and that's how I was able to cancel my credit cards. We also have the 5-week month. That means we haven't really counted because usually we count the 4 weeks, but that is, we need to start working on that, because also sometimes you're going to pay extra things because it has a 5-week, but depending on the case, also you can save a little bit because you had an extra salary on that month. So working around that also can work in your favor instead of against you. Using more debit cards instead of credit cards. I'm not against credit cards. If you're someone that likes because of the points or things like that, it's okay. It's not a problem, but it's learning how to use it. So I have a friend that he pays everything with his credit card because he likes the points. And then when he gets paid, he pays the credit card in full. He never leaves any extra to pay on the following month. He always cleared up his credit card every time he gets paid. But he is extremely organized. He knows how much he can spend on his credit card because he knows how much he's going to get paid. But you need to be extremely organized to be able to do that. Plan your savings. Why you want to save and how you're going to do it. So all these makes a difference as well. Choose a bank with high interest for you to save money, and also that's going to impact your long-term savings, but also banks that doesn't charge you for bank fees. Like there are some banks that charge $5 for accounts monthly. If you can get a bank that doesn't charge you that $5, it's a $5 that you're saving. Somehow it seems that's nothing, but every $5 when you start adding up, it makes a lot of difference at the end. Also, have a look at the insurance policies, but be careful when you're choosing your policy to another provider if they're going to provide with the same service. So make sure you read the PDS and make sure that it's going to cover the same things and how you can talk to them when you truly need. Because a friend of mine used one of the providers and he couldn't get in contact with the provider. Yes, he was paying 50% only of the previous one, was like 50% cheaper, but when he needed to make a claim, he couldn't reach them because it was impossible to talk to them. So make sure you take that into consideration when you're choosing your policies. And adjust your due date payments. So sometimes you get paid, like I get paid twice a month. And so I try to get all my bills around the same those days. So it's easier for me to pay because I know I'm going to get paid on that day. I can pay for my bills on the following day after I get paid, or at least on the same week. So organize that day. If you see that you are paying for the bills at the beginning of the month, but you're getting paid at the end of the month, or you're paying everything on Monday, but your salary only gets in your account on Wednesday or Thursday, sometimes can be a little bit tricky if you're not very organized with your finances. So somehow try to manage that, to change the date, to be close to your payment date, to help you to pay for those bills until you get yourself organized. So it's just little tips. Anyone has any question? All right. Maintenance. In this case, it's not about maintenance in relation to your house or maintain anything, but it's about going back through your tracking your income and expenditure, how much you getting paid and how much you spending, because sometimes it increases or it decreases depending on the situation. So the time that we live in right now, construction is shut. So people are not, like a friend of mine, he gets a certain amount paid, but he does a lot of overtime. So now he's not even getting, some of them not even getting paid anything because they are casual. So only getting $600 from the government, those that are lucky to get $600 from the government, instead of like 1,200, 1,500. So now he had to adjust all his bills according to how he's living. And some of them is going to be hard to keep going. Some of them are negotiating rent. Some of them are negotiating with the bank in relation to repayments. It is dangerous to do that, but that's the only way they have to. So it's important for you to keep track how much is you getting paid and how much you're spending. So you keep that your finances healthy. You know exactly where you are, what has increased and what has decreased. Okay. Debt reduction. So when you have debts, okay, like Trisha, I'm getting paid, but I'm not able to pay my bills at the end of the month. I'm struggling. Okay, what should I pay? What I shouldn't pay, because I can't meet all my expenses. Some of them I'll have to. I won't be able to pay for it right now because I don't have the money, and I'll have to wait until my next payment for me to be able to start paying those things. We call primary debts. That is anything related to rent, gas, electricity, water, council rates, car payments, and benefits overpayments, like from the government that you need to pay back. These things are considered primary. Why? Because rent, you can be kicked out. Gas, they can cut your gas and you're not gonna have gas in your home. Electricity, the same thing, and water, the same thing. Council rates, you can get prosecuted because of that. Car payments, they can take your car away, and benefits, you also can end up in jail, or you can end up in worse situation or in court because of that. So things like that is very hard. You need to find a way to pay for these things, because it can really affect you straight away. You can lose things or get persecuted because of that. So we are in the finance and budgeting sector, we call primary debts anything related to that. So these are the bills that you should prioritize to pay. Okay, and when we say rent, we say mortgage as well, because then you can have big trouble. So rent is in relation to living costs, rent, or mortgage. All right, then we have debt reduction in relation to secondary debts. That are those that you can still negotiate with them and you have a little bit more time. Yes, you're gonna pay interest, but they can divide, or you can pay installments and then renegotiate the debt to pay in different ways. This is credit card, personal loans, store credit cards, and overdrafts. These things you can negotiate and you can reduce the payment. You can call them, it's like, unfortunately, I don't have any way to pay for this. We can cancel the credit card, and how can I negotiate with you? Probably I can pay $50 a month for this bill, and then they will do the calculation and they're gonna tell, okay, it's gonna take this amount of time for you to pay for this debt, but at least you can negotiate, and you're not gonna end up in prison or losing or not having access to electricity and things like that straight away. It's something that you have to pay, but you can negotiate how you pay for it, okay? So this is considered as secondary debts. And dealing with debts, okay? You first clear the smaller amounts, $10, $100, $200, because then you can get it over and done. And also we start paying for the most expensive ones. bit by bit. Okay, because when you pay the smaller ones quick, it less bills that you expenses that you're gonna have. And when you start paying for the most expensive one, you can see that coming down, and you start feeling a relief that somehow you're paying for that debt. Okay, so that's how you organize your debts. First, the smaller ones, so you can get rid of that, and it's gonna be one less thing that you're gonna have on your budget. And also, secondly, you start making payments for the most expensive ones, so you can see that account going down. Okay. The government offers a Money Smart website. This is the website. On your booklet, at the end of your booklet, you'll find as well. But if you can't, let me know, send me an email, I can send it to you. This QR code and the website details. So you can do your calculations for loans that you haven't been able to pay, credit cards and things like that. They have a lot of tools that can help you to calculate your debts and how you can organize it. Okay, so this is the website that the government provides with. And also a quick summary of what we have spoken today. First, that we spoke about is to build a budget. Okay, what you get paid and how you are spending. Use the online to balance your budget. Why? Because it does automatically. So you don't have to be doing all the time. And then it's easier for you to change and calculate every time something changes in your budget. Set up like a kept money system in your finance, creating different accounts on your secondary accounts where you can transfer the money so you can start organizing your bills. A friend of mine, she was telling me, Trisha, I was saving a lot of money, but I was always going back and tipping in on that savings. And I said to her, why are you always going back and tipping in? It's like, oh, I noticed that it's more when I need to buy clothes. Like I want to buy things and I ended up, oh, I don't have money because I'm saving everything. So every time I want to buy anything that is extra, I ended up going to my savings. And when I heard you telling somebody else to create those extra accounts, like for clothing, for holidays and stuff, I did that and start saving a little bit on those accounts separate from my main savings account. And it has been 2 months that she said that she hasn't been tipping in the main savings account, because now she has this extra secondary accounts that she can save money for things that she noticed she was dipping in on the big main savings that she had. So it's little things like that that can make a lot of difference. As I said, depending on your finance situation, it can be hard at the beginning, but it's worth a try. You should try it. Start living on cash. That cash, that means the money that you got getting paid, and you're trying to manage that to pay everything with that, because then you can reduce your stress with credit cards and loans, and have saving goals and plan to achieve them. I want to save, I want to go on a holiday, so I want to make sure that I can save $1,000 to go on this trip, or I'm planning to buy a house in 3 years' time, and I need this amount of money to give a deposit. I want to buy a car and I want to change my car, but I will need at least 20 grand. So let me see how I can calculate that I can save that 20 grand so I can buy the car on cash instead of getting a finance. So this is just some ideas on how you can do things. The more you buy things on installments or and pay monthly, it adds up on like how much it's getting on your weekly or monthly base income. So always try to save first to pay, instead of I can put, like in Brazil, we live on installments. Everything you buy, they don't give you in Brazil, they do not give you the full price of things. They always give you price 12 times $10, 12 times $100. They never give you the full price. So you look at it, it's only $10 a month. It's okay, I can buy it. But then you buy $10 here, $10 there, $100. And when you do the calculation, you say, man, I have more things than I can afford. I'm paying for more things than I can afford. So they're very tricky in Brazil. So it was hard at the beginning for me to learn these different things. And Australia had taught me a lot, because these installment things has just started. When I arrived in Brazil 14 years ago, we didn't have Afterpay. We didn't have this GE card that you can buy with interest free. We didn't have none of these things. In all these new things that I have implemented, yes, has facilitated us to buy a lot of stuff, But also, if you don't know how to organize your finances, it can be tricky and can put you in big debts, okay? So one thing that I want to bring to you before we close, and it's about money in the Bible. In the Bible, how many times do you think the Bible refers to money? I want to ask you this quick question. Let me just, and I'll explain to you why I'm asking this question. I'll share here with you this poll just quickly. So does the Bible talk about money? So I just want you to answer that. And how many times do you think the Bible talks about money? I just want you quickly to answer that poll. The reason why is, if you are a Christian here tonight, you believe in God. You know God has promised us that he would provide a lot of things to each one of us. And I want to share to you, people have been responding 100% say yes, the Bible talks about, and we are being divided how many times it talks about. The majority says 500 times, but the Bible talks about money more than 2,500 times. The Bible talks about money. And you know why? Because where is our heart? It is who we believe. And that is our God, becomes our God in our own life. So if your heart is in money, that means your heart is not in God. It's not really your God. Your God becomes the money. And we have that Bible verse that you can serve God and mammon can mean money, can be other gods. So the reason why the Bible has been talking about more than 2,500 times about money is because God wants you to depend and trust on him, because he is the one providing us everything. I'm going to tell you my testimony before I share with you some Bible verses. When I arrived in Australia and I got married, I'm going through separation right now, but when I got married, I lost my job. And then when I lost my job, we couldn't meet our expenses because my husband didn't have enough money to pay for everything. And I remember that I started praying and I started asking God, why I'm going through this? I'm willing to work as a cleaner or do anything. And now I can't even meet my needs. The church was giving us food for us to be able to have enough to eat. And my mom in Brazil gave me a credit card and said, whatever you need for food, you can buy. His parents were buying us groceries, especially the fresh food. So it was really tough. And I remember when the bills came for us to pay for our electricity, gas, and things like that. I didn't have that money. I didn't have this understanding about finances that I have now. And I'll be honest with you, I panicked. And I start praying and say, God, I don't know where I'm going to get this money. And it's interesting because when I prayed, I got a phone call. My English was horrible at the time. If you can see, I have an accent and my English is not the best, but at the time I couldn't even put a phrase together. And I remember that time that I got a phone call from a lady. She was Brazilian and she had a student company here that she brought students from Brazil to study in Australia. And she said, Patricia, I heard that you are unemployed and I need someone to translate my website from Portuguese to English and English to Portuguese, because some stuff she had in Portuguese, some in English, and she was making a new website. And she said, Patricia, I really need someone to help me with that. And I said to her, but I don't speak English really well. I was like, no, I'm sure, ask your husband, because my husband has been here for almost 40 years. And then she said, ask your husband to help. And anyway, I started translating this website with Google Translation and everything, trying my best to translate this website. I did my job. My husband helped me at the time to translate as well. And I remember when I finished, that's when all the bills were arriving. When I got paid from her was exactly the amount that I needed to pay for the electricity and gas that I have received, because I didn't pay water because we were living on rent at the time. So I really thank God, because that money came at the right time. And then after that, we struggled to pay extra bills, even the rent as well. And I started praying for God. And one day we got at church and one of our friends came to us and said, Patricia, I was praying yesterday and God put in my heart to give you $600. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure which situation you're going through right now, but here's $600. And that's exactly what I need at the time. Then anyway, we stopped living on rent and we start living with my in-laws because they live here in Australia. And then I got a job and my husband lost a job and he started working as a literature evangelist. That means selling books and door to door, knocking on people's door. I was paying for him to go to work at that time. So he was working on that. And then I started continuing struggling financially because I had used all my credit card limits and had to pay that. We just got married, had other bills to pay. We supported him because his parents were not very rich. So we had to help financially at home because we were living with them. So it was really hard to keep our bills. And I remember that I worked for Flight Center at the time. And then one of my clients said, Patricia, I don't believe in God. God for me does not exist. But I have felt in my heart that I need to give you $300. She threw $300 on the top of my desk, and I have never, ever seen her again. She didn't believe in God, and she gave me $300. And God knew what I really needed at the time. And to finalize my testimony, when as I said, my husband was working as a literature evangelist, and then I left Flight Center and I started working for St. Vincent de Paul as a floating manager. I need a car because I needed to get stock from one store to another. And I need a car to work. And he needed a car to sell his books because he carried the books with him. And we couldn't afford, especially in paying registration, insurance, and all these things. And one day he received a phone call and he said, Everton, that is one of our friends that he said he was praying, and he said God has put in his heart to give his car. He has an old car, but still working, and he has 6 months insurance. If you really want to get that car for free, you just need to fly to Queensland. I remember at the time I had points with Qantas, and I booked a Jetstar flight, and he went and he got the car for free and brought it home. We used the car for 6 months, and then he found a job, and he said, now I don't need this car anymore. And he received a phone call from the same person saying, Everton, do you still working do you still need the car? And Everton says, no, the car is sitting here. I'm not even using it anymore. And he said, because there is someone needing the car that just started working for us and that doesn't have money as well. So we were able to pass it on the car. We registered the car and we paid the insurance, and we gave the car the same way as we have received. What I'm saying here is that God has blessed me with everything I have. Yes, I can go through financial difficulties, and I can have debts as well, as I have had in the past, but God has never forsaken me. It wasn't easy, but I trusted him. And my blessings does not mean that when I return my tithing offerings, I'm going to get more just because I gave. No. You gave because you already received that from God. And I am a true testimony here with you, show you that God had the same way God has blessed me. I am sure he can bless you as well. And I hope my testimony can help and give you hope, that there is hope at the end of the tunnel. The same way that I have been able to overcome all these difficult times coming from overseas and arriving here as a student, not having nothing, anything or anyone. Today, I only have to thank God for everything that I have. It's not perfect, but I have enough. I have enough. I have food on my plate. I have a place to sleep, and I have work. And today I can share with you the blessings that God has put in my life. And that's what I want to share with you. But I want to share with you Matthew 6:21 that says, for where your treasure is, that your heart will be also. My treasure, I have decided it's God. I didn't care about money. I didn't care about finances. I remember when I just bought my house, I didn't have the deposit, but somehow God was opening all the doors for me to be able to get enough money to put the deposit. And I guarantee you, I have no idea, if you ask Patricia, how did you get there? Was blessings after blessings, because my treasure in my heart was within God. And when we trust, we don't doubt. It's kind of, okay, throw yourself on me and I'll hold you. If you don't trust the person, you're going to be looking back. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you there? You're not going to let me drop? You're not trusting. Trusting me, I'm not going to even look, and I'm going to just throw myself, and I know the person is going to be there to hold me. But you need to be conscious, of course, and go through all the principles that God has given us. Ecclesiastes 5:10 says, whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with the income. This too is meaningless. So when you put your focus in money, that's what your heart will be. And you're never going to be satisfied with whatever you get. And always, you never will be enough. Never. Because your mind is in the wealth instead of your heart being God and being grateful for everything that you have. Hebrews 13:5 says, keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. So the promise that I want to leave you today is that God will never leave you. God will never forsake you. And I hope this budgeting seminar can help you go back on your feet, and through the hope in Christ, you can really overcome the difficult times that you're going through. And I will be here to support you through this time and helping to put that budget together and organizing your finance, so you can be the next person giving your testimony on how God has taken you through this journey. And as I promised to you, here is a useful content. Happy to send you those details via email. The debt help for CAP money. CAP as well can help you financially organize your finance, because they do have financial advisors. Benefit inquiries and support Department of the Human Resources. They can also help you with benefits if you are allowed to get any benefits from the government. Financial deadline, it is a national deadline helpline that can help you as well to organize your finances and how to negotiate with that. If you have issues with gambling, that is the gambling phone number. And if you're going through domestic violence, and that's the reason why you are suffering financially right now because you had to leave home, we also have the domestic violence department that can also give you support and put you in contact with other departments to put you everything, to help you with everything you need. You're not alone. We're here to support as much as I can. And I want to ask, do you have any question? I hope this seminar has helped you to open your minds with different ways of how we can share. Please feel free to ask any question if you want to. And as I said, also I have a course that is, if you have too many debts, you can contact me, because I have CAP has also a course on how to deal with creditors and which ones you can contact, which ones you shouldn't contact, how do you write an email to those creditors, and how you negotiate your debt. Okay, I haven't included here because I don't know if this applies to anyone, but if it does apply to you, I'm more than happy to go separately, individually with you to talk about this second part of the course that I didn't include it today. If you also struggle to put your budget together, organize your finances, here to support you as much as I can. Please send me an email. We can book a Zoom meeting, and I can go with you through and explain to you how you can do this. And we, as Fahina has mentioned, sometimes when we think we're saving, we just go backwards. Happy as well for us to come up with ideas that can help you, your specific situation, okay? So if you have any questions, please just ask, and I'm here to answer your questions.